Like, do we push him to the back or what? Because I don't want his hype to die down.
Now you're telling us the next week that they're scum of the earth, and we need you to think.
Everybody gets a moment. Everybody gets their little shine. Everybody. All right, Dirt Sheet Radio Nation. This is the Dirt Sheet Radio Smackdown Rewind. I'm Small Austin 316. Let me get oh, hell yeah. All right, CJ Carter is joining us again this week. Let's go. CJ Carter, how's it going, my fine fellow bald friend?
It was a great episode of Smackdown tonight. Great main event segment. Looking forward to talking about it as always.
All right. Well, let's start with what's fresh in our mind. Was the face-off, the mano a mano, hombre a hombre, the face-off between Roman and Cody. What were your thoughts on this whole face-off? I got a couple of thoughts.
Yeah, the first bit of it with Roman's promo before Cody came out, I thought was good. I wouldn't say great. There were definitely a couple moments where it felt like he stumbled. But once Cody came out, Roman was on fire. I love because he did make a point, not really make a point, but the way that he said in his promo when Roman had asked him if he came alone, he said, if you came alone, I came alone. And when he said that, it kind of signaled to me, if you came alone, or rather, if you didn't come alone, then I didn't come alone. And, that turned out to be true with Seth Rollins and Jey Uso joining in when Solo and Jimmy came out to get the jump on Cody, which very well executed, and it's really set the stage for the last 2 weeks of TV heading into WrestleMania.
I didn't mind the way they ended it off, just at a stalemate. I was expecting a whole, a big brawl to finish off between all six competitors, but
I'm glad they held off, though.
I didn't mind, but I preferred. I thought they were going to go for the brawl. I would have probably liked the brawl, but either way, it was still good. Roman tells him you're not fit. He says you're not fit. You're an idiot. You putting your trust in Rollins. Cody tells him, can I trust Rollins? Yeah, I think I could trust Rollins. Can you trust The Rock? So they're already trying to put that split in there they've been doing for the last couple of weeks.
But I mean, to that point, they still haven't definitively said who ranks higher in the bloodline, The Rock or Roman Reigns.
Well, that's where they're mincing the words up, because The Rock did acknowledge him as the tribal chief, but who's...
But you remember why? You remember? Because that's what family does. That implies that The Rock is willing to acknowledge someone lower on the pecking order than him, because that's what family does. So,
and Cody did mention that.
But the fact that Roman still didn't definitively answer implies that he either didn't want to speak the truth because he didn't want to acknowledge that The Rock is higher than he is, or he didn't want to lie on national television where The Rock could see it.
Well, then he calls him the greatest number 2 of all time.
Which, I mean,
that was a good
that's
one.
pretty self-explanatory.
That was a good one. He did say, he replied with, I'm the one, not the greatest number 2, but the one who's going to eventually beat Roman. Then we see Solo and Jimmy come out. Then we see Jay and Seth come out. Then we get the big standoff and the stalemate. And that's how they closed off the show.
I love the way that this was presented. Gone are the typical days where, they would just their music would hit and down the ramp they come. It was done in a very subtle and nuanced way. You had Roman snapping his fingers and then his music plays. Out come Solo and Jimmy. And the way it's played up, even when Roman's music is still playing, you start to see Seth Rollins and Jey Uso come into the frame, and it's very cinematic. And then all of a sudden, Cody's music starts playing, and it's purely to signify that they're on even ground now.
Well, it's WrestleMania season, and they're giving us all the wide angle shots and the foreground and the background shots, and they're keeping it very,
But
very
it's
telenovela.
it's a great
It
change
is.
because this never would have happened under Kevin Dunn. I love it.
Yeah, this is more of a, as they've been saying, that TKO is going to try to bring more of a sports presentation to it, as we've noticed in the last few weeks, where at the beginning of the show, kind of like the NFL or the NBA, they walk in. It's kind of like their red carpet, so to speak. You see the superstars walking in through the backstage, whether it be alone or with their tag partners or whatnot. And I like the more sports feel. It's going to get probably a little bit more. So I like how they're just gradually mixing it in there.
I do too, but I still want to see them add the regular like show intro that they used to do. Like it hits that nostalgia button for me because even if it doesn't have excuse me, even if it doesn't have the pyro, I just love the overall presentation that we get from the intro video. I miss
Right,
it.
right. They started off the show with the returning 619 Rey Mysterio starts off the show versus Santo Escobar. So usually they start off with some drama, but this week they're starting off with a match. So you knew they were going to end off with some drama, but they started off with a match. This match was, it was good. It was all right. I like this. What we've come to expect from Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Once again, they're moving the story along further. But with the new twist, well, not a new twist, but a returning twist. Dominic Mysterio. I've been saying it for weeks. He's gonna come back and he's gonna come get back involved with his dad. Eventually would lead to a face turn, I hope. But what were your thoughts on that first match?
Well, if they're thinking about a face turn, then they did not get the reaction they wanted tonight.
Oh no, they're gonna get the
Dominic,
boos. They're gonna get the
yeah.
boos.
No, I thought it was a good match for sure. Like very much again what you'd expect out of Santos and Ray. But the with Dom coming out at the end to go back to a feud with his father for WrestleMania season just because it's WrestleMania season, it feels like a step back for Dom. Like there was talks when Brock Lesnar was still in the mix that he was going to be going up against a guy like Lesnar.
Yeah.
And Braun took his spot in the Rumble, and so that's what ended up playing out. There's no reason that feud couldn't have headed into WrestleMania.
Well, I just know that eventually, Dom will break away from Judgment Day, probably get back in with his dad, feuding with his dad, which would lead to a face turn. I mean, that's what I've been calling it for months, for a long time, since the beginning, since they were tag teaming. I was like, okay, they're going to be a tag team. They won championship. Now they're breaking up, and then it'll come full circle. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it comes full circle. Dom's going to be a big face when that turn eventually comes. So, that's why it ain't going to happen, right away, but, slowly but gradually, because, he still gets booed out the building.
Mm.
We had a backstage thing with Bailey and Naomi, and um, Bailey and Naomi were talking, and then here comes Bianca Belair saying, it's basically the same thing they're doing with uh with main event Jay. For the past 2 years you've been, beating everybody up. So basically, with the same thing Bianca was saying for the past, 2 years or whatever. Bailey's been beaten up. She's just getting what she deserves. I like the little interaction. They're getting a little bit more backstage presence with the story instead of just in ring work, because the in ring work talks for themselves. And I think the ladies will benefit from a little acting backstage. It don't hurt nobody. What are your thoughts on that little backstage segment back with Bianca Belair, Naomi, and
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. Like I'm glad to see that Bailey does end up having some allies in this fight. After all, I wouldn't have liked the idea of her going 4-on-1 against Damage Control, which obviously would have happened. But now, obviously, she's got some backup now in the form of Naomi and Bianca Belair. So I'm very excited to see where this takes us next week.
The OC versus. See, I had to take a breathe.
That threw me too.
No, man, I'm pissed off about this. This is some bullshit. I wrote it right there. Bullshit with 2 stars. All right. The OC versus Austin and Waller. And this is the for the ladder match at WrestleMania, for the 6-way 16
the tournament.
Match. Tournament turmoil or whatever the hell it is. Right. Man, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, they came out hot. You could tell they're hot. We don't see them on TV as we should be seeing the Good Brothers more frequently, but we don't. And then if we do, it's just some bullshit like this. But they were dominating the whole match, and a stupid roll-up. Even
a stupid roll-up? That was an illegal assisted roll-up, so it still made sense for their characters. I thought the finish was great.
But it was dumb. It was dumb. You know what? Austin Waller, that was the last straw. That was the last straw.
It was heel tactic at its best. It was awesome. I thought it was great.
Mean Chin did a fucking arm drag in some heels. Everybody was pumped because they don't get on TV like this. So they pulled out the best of the best that they had in their arsenal. That spine buster Machine Gun gave, that was textbook, a good spine buster. But they deserve better. That's all I'm saying. The Good Brothers deserve better. And I think they proved they could be, what they are. What they should be in today's match, even with the loss. But I
was just surprised. I wasn't rooting for Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, but I was surprised to see them on SmackDown because they've been down in NXT the last couple weeks. So I figured they'd be sticking around down there. They are headed to. Sorry, my troubles. They were headed to Stand and Deliver earlier this week. So they've already got their ticket to WrestleMania weekend, even if it's on the NXT show. But then I looked through the SmackDown tag team roster and was like, okay, well, those guys already qualified. Those guys already qualified. Those guys wouldn't. Okay. So, and it's like, yeah, there literally is nobody else left in the SmackDown tag team division. So of course it's got to be the OC.
Listen, I didn't agree with the what was it last week with the DIY beating. I didn't agree with that. I don't agree with this week. This whole little tournament thing, this is worthless. It was worthless. They could have just told us from the beginning without the tournament, because the way they set it up, we knew, like, oh, okay, Austin and Waller's gonna win, and then okay, we knew last week who was gonna win. We the writing was on the wall for us. I mean, at least it was
Right.
for me. But like, I'm just a big uh Good Brothers fan. I love the Good Brothers, and that's
Well, and
bullshit.
hey, that's
That's
fair.
bullshit.
Like, if you
That's
be
bullshit.
disappointed that they're not going to WrestleMania, then
Yeah,
that's fine. But
right.
I figured that Theory and Waller were headed there just because they've been featured on SmackDown regularly. There's no reason for them not to go to WrestleMania.
Right, but they could have just, I don't know. They could have just presented us, hey, this is the ladder match for WrestleMania. They didn't have to go through all of this, and just to make people look worse than what they already been looking because of the booking. Like, ah,
They had a solid match, and they basically got screwed out at the end. They still looked strong.
yeah. They look strong and everything. I just want more from them. Hopefully, this is the beginning of more after the WrestleMania season. We'll see what's going on. Uh, So this leads us into Naomi versus Io Sky. Yo, I was rolling, literally laughing out loud because here comes Naomi, Pam, right? Entrance. Naomi comes in for her entrance, and then here comes Damage Control or Io Sky's music. And here comes Damage Control. They're doing the little dancing, and they're like, oh, where's Io? And she's backstage putting a molly whooping on our girl Bailey. Like, what? Like, I popped real hard. That was gold. What you thought about that match?
I mean, the segment, as far as just a backstage brawl goes before heading out for your match, it really makes Io look like a more dastardly heel. A very tactitious sort of champion. So good to see them expanding and growing her character a bit. The match afterwards I thought was great. I mean, obviously we knew Naomi wasn't going to get a singles victory over the champion heading into WrestleMania. But I mean, it's still good that Bianca Belair and Naomi are getting involved, and especially heading into WrestleMania. I mean, they seem right now like the most likely front runners to challenge Io and or not Io, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Even if Asuka isn't medically cleared, I'm sure they can free bird Dakota into the match and defend in her place.
Right. Well, either way, Dakota is going to be involved some way or another, so that's going to be good. For the bad people, for the heels, that's going to be good for them. But it was a good match. Very physical match. I like the physicality of the match. In the beginning, I think she was selling it. Her left eye, Naomi was selling it. I thought it was a real injury, but no, it looked fine. But then Damage Control distracts Naomi. Then Io gets the victory, and here comes Bianca to wreck everybody. Man, she came in like Stone Cold Steve Austin, giving everybody stunners that one time. She came in wrecking everybody, but she gets beat up.
Sorry, that one time?
Well, that one time during the whole Attitude Era.
So that one time just being the entirety of Steve Austin's career. Okay, gotcha.
All right. Oh, we got B-Ray joining us a little late. Better late than never. There she is. Oh, do we got face?
She's muted though.
She muted. No, did she mute herself?
No face tonight.
All right.
I'm doing double duty. What's up, everybody?
We're talking about Naomi versus Io Sky. What were your
So
thoughts
I
on that
only
match?
literally caught the last like 2 minutes of SmackDown, but I did catch a little bit of the highlights from Naomi and Io. Um, for what we got, it was pretty good. Like I mentioned, I like this story of Naomi trying to pick her side now that she's back and pretty much been left out the loop. Um, I'm not sure what this is going to lead to as far as WrestleMania with Bianca and Naomi, but as of now, it's still progressing Bailey versus Io. But what we got tonight was pretty cool. I didn't mind tonight.
What
Tonight
I
was
I had pitched just before you came in that Bianca and Naomi could challenge for the women's tag titles.
I'm for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's almost strange. Actually, it is strange. Now we're officially almost 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and
15
Bianca is
days.
actually not on the card. So it's weird to go from a title match last year to pretty much not knowing what's going to happen. So I'm down for the tag match.
I think I saw a report earlier today saying they're anticipating 7 matches roughly per night, and they've only got I think about 8 or 9 confirmed so far.
Okay. So it's pretty
So
much
wide open.
right. I mean, because right now it seems like it's going to be a couple of filler matches, which is fine because you have a couple of solid matches on both nights and you need some breathers in between there. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 10 confirmed matches. The only ones that are confirmed night 1 or night 2, the tag team main event, the main event, and the World Heavyweight Championship.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I got a couple of stars on this next 3 little subjects here. Our homegirls coming officially next week. Officially.
Yes.
We all been waiting, and they hit us with the vignette, the little promo vignette. But officially next week, Jade Cargill comes to SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania. She's gonna have a match at WrestleMania. I think yes. Why not?
Well, yeah, they
Of
they
course.
bring her out literally 8 days before WrestleMania. Yeah, they're
Who,
they're gonna have something for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
who's gonna
it's the same
interrupt her?
thing. It's the same thing with CM Punk coming out to Raw in Chicago on Monday. They're
Right.
gonna set something up for him to do. He's already said he's gonna be there whether he's invited or not. Obviously, they're setting him up for something for him to be there.
Commentating or in the pre-show panel. Yeah,
Maybe
for
he'll
sure.
cost Drew McIntyre the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. But who do you guys think would interrupt Jade Cargill's official, coming out to SmackDown, which would lead to the feud to WrestleMania? I
I
think.
really wish Charlotte was there because that would have been absolutely perfect.
But it's
Just for
coming
sure. It's coming. Oh, it's most definitely coming.
next year.
I
Next year.
cannot wait. But
Yeah.
you know
We
how dope
already
that
we already saw that face off, right?
right. So imagine how dope that would have been with Jay cutting her promo, literally standing in the middle of the ring, doing her thing, and Charlotte just pretty much just come out, say a couple of stuff, and just tease what's gonna come as far as WrestleMania next year. Because honestly, I don't who else would do it? Who else would come out to even cut her besides anybody but Damage Control at this point? It could be anybody but Damage Control.
It might be
Yeah, I
Bianca.
mean,
I'm here for that too.
oh,
It
and
might
it feels like they're putting her into the Bailey and Damage Control rivalry. It wouldn't really make sense for her to change tack right now, especially when Bailey's whole thing right now is being able to trust people.
Yeah.
You know, what does that say?
the
Um,
obvious choice. It's Nia Jax.
but then she didn't sign with Raw.
Right.
I mean, we've been seeing a whole lot of crossovers this
So let
this
me
season.
And
let
I'm
me
fine
ask
with that.
y'all. Let me ask y'all a question real quick. So if y'all not paying attention, especially with the possibility of Melo coming over to SmackDown is pretty stacked. So
Yes.
my question to you all is, when SmackDown officially moves back to USA, should they get extra time? Should they get extra 30 minutes? Should they get an extra hour? What y'all thinking?
I think they stay at the 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stay
I
at the
think
two
the
hours.
3-hour weekly show was kind of a failed experiment. And I
Okay.
think, if anything, when Raw hits Netflix, they may go down to 2 hours.
I
I
see that
think
too.
I
Yeah.
think they'll. I was thinking the same thing, but the way The Rock is talking online and all these curse words on everybody's social media, and I'm thinking they're gonna stay at 3 hours when they go to Netflix, but it's gonna be more adult program, more hopefully more
Well, yeah,
something.
because I mean they'll have a
Yeah,
better ability to age gate the content through Netflix.
yeah. There's gonna be a lot of f bombs and stuff dropped on Raw.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna go back to Raw, Raw.
But they still have to be mindful of the live crowd. You
Yeah,
know, you can't censor the kids that are actually in attendance.
right. It's not gonna get too gritty. Uh Next week we get a RKO. Kevin Owens versus Pretty Deadly. I laughed hard when hey, you want to be my partner? That's what Kevin Owens goes. And after Pretty Deadly interrupts them from talking to the general manager, Nick Aldis, and then it was Randy Orton. It's like, whoa, I popped hard for that one. That's a good combination. And like I said, this whole tag team turmoil tournament thing. See, the writing's on the wall, CJ. Like, come on, Pretty Deadly's gonna beat RKO and Kevin Owens. Uh-uh. Don't think so.
You're right. That's RK, like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are going to win next week.
Yeah. So that was like
But that's like, this doesn't have WrestleMania implications.
it doesn't this
No,
isn't this
Kevin
a part
Owens
of
and Randy Orton are challenging for the US title.
I thought this was a part of the whole tag team thing too.
No.
No?
No,
Oh, I
because
misheard
Kevin
that.
Owens was talking to Nick Aldis. Pretty Deadly interrupted. Kevin
Right.
Owens got pissed off and challenged them. And they basically said with which tag team partner, and they didn't notice Randy was standing behind them when KO said, "Hey, want to be my tag team partner?" So that's how they ended up with that. And then the highlight of the segment, KO landing another double
Double
punch
punch. Yeah.
on
Well,
Pretty
we'll get to
Deadly.
that.
It
Yep.
was marvelous. I popped so hard for it, especially to hear Kevin Owens go, "I did it again, Randy!" Like, it
Right. He's
was
like
just
chasing after Randy. Like,
wonderful.
look, did you see it? I did it again.
Kevin Owens is a treasure. I
Right.
cherish every second we have that man on our screens.
Did he do a double punch again tonight?
He
Yes,
did a
he
double
did.
punch on Pretty Deadly.
Yes, he did. Right in front of Nick Aldis.
Oh, Nick Aldis warned them too.
Right.
He's like, "You're not gonna want to stand that close together," and they're like, "Why?" Punch.
Right. Well, I stand corrected. I thought that was for that tag team ladder match thing, but oh well. Well, we know Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are gonna win that one. Now this was a highlight for me. LA Night. I seen something about it on social media earlier today, and I really didn't want to spoil myself, so I kind of like scrolled away from it. But yes, LA Knight goes full attitude error. And reminiscent of who was it? Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
And yep,
Invading
Brian
Steve Austin's
and
home.
Steve Austin. And
Yeah, I mean,
LA Knight goes to AJ Styles' house. AJ Styles got a nice house for what we were able to see out there. And I believe he lives in Georgia, right? Or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the first time we've seen Wendy on WWE TV?
Man,
No.
Or was
I don't think
she?
so. I don't think so.
Second.
I know the Samoa Joe stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't remember if she actually made an appearance or not.
I think I think she was ringside one time with the
Yeah,
kids
she
and
was
stuff when
ringside.
he was champion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like, you know, Yeah, LA Knight comes out. Hey, I'll come to your house. They get into a big fight. I loved how we got to see the police cam footage when the police was rolling up. I was popping so hard. I was laughing like, look, they got the police cam footage. It was like an episode of Cops. You see AJ Styles whooping on the lawn. It was crazy. That hey, get
It
off of me.
wasn't It wasn't consistent though. Like they had one of the they had the graphical overlay with all the sort of information that police cams would have to log. And then it would still cut back to a guy that is clearly like a WWE camera angle and then another camera angle like that and then a different one. And then it cuts back to the police dash cam with all the weird lock on it. And it's like if you're gonna commit, like commit.
Did you get to catch that, Brittany?
I just looked at it. That's actually pretty funny.
Yes, it was
Oh,
gold.
great
The
segment
only
though. Yeah,
thing,
absolutely.
the weird part was the camera, like he said, the camera part. But I love like when wrestlers go to the houses, like make it personal. And the fact that Wendy was the one that called the cops, that made it even more funny.
They even had the kids. The kids were
They
out there
had
on
the
the
kids.
lawn. Yeah, they had the kids out there on the lawn. That was
And
LA
if
funny.
I'm
Knight
not
talking
mistaken,
to the cop. LA
Yeah.
Knight talking to the cops, going, You know what? You just let me out. I'm gonna come back and do it again.
Oh,
I don't
he like,
care."
I
I'll
have
Like,
it on
see
the
you at
camera.
WrestleMania. And I was like, what? You're gonna get locked up. He like, I'll see you next week. Yeah. I'll see you at SmackDown next week. Yeah. Dude, you're getting locked up. You're not gonna be at SmackDown. You know,
He talked the
K-Fan.
camera in the camera in the back seat, and he's still talking all this noise.
That was a highlight for me. I love that segment. It couldn't get no better than that. Even with the little, wonkiness of the camera. Yeah, we know, but you got to dispense your belief. Uh, the final match of the evening was the Street Profits versus AOP.
I mean,
Another roll up, CJ. Another
I
roll up.
know.
Didn't we have a roll up with fucking D Austin and Waller and the OC? Another roll up. I called it last week. Didn't we say Street Profits was gonna win? Uh, I don't know. Like
Yeah, because and I mean, I get it. I get that they must have a plan for the Street Profits or for AOP after WrestleMania because
I
they
hope
had to
so.
make. But I knew going in, like AOP in a ladder match just doesn't feel right. But I knew that the Street Profits were going to be going to WrestleMania anyways because, of course, you have the Street Profits at WrestleMania. So I have to think that they're just biding their time with AOP, and then after they get through WrestleMania, then they'll figure out what they're doing with them.
They got something. They got something with the Final Testament. They just gotta let it breathe a little bit. They gotta let it breathe a little bit, and I don't know. I don't know. All I put on that, I circle Street Profits. I put another roll up, like, cause I didn't like that. Did you catch some of that, Brittany?
That's the part I did not catch.
Right. You didn't miss much. The Street Profits won. You know what? Well, I wasn't too big of a fan. I wasn't feeling the new outfits from the Street Profit. I think it was too new dayish. Too much color.
I so
Too
what
much
color
color.
was it?
That's white.
It was white with some gold. With it had like a blue and like it was blue squares with yellow in
It
there.
was
It was
So
fine.
I
uh,
wonder I
it was
wonder
too
if they
new
did
dayish.
Was perfectly fine.
I wonder if they did that to because with Dawkins' mom passing, I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
There
Maybe.
were a lot of
I
kind
forgot
of
about that.
feathery elements. That makes sense.
Okay.
You're right. I did forget. I did
Yeah.
forget about that one. The bloodline sucks. Roman and the Rocky
Actually,
crybabies.
let me look and see. Okay, so yeah, I see what you're talking about now. So yeah, that definitely kind of looks like some tribute gear. I could be wrong, but Kind of looks like
Right.
his
I did
tribute
not
to.
know his mother had passed.
Yeah,
Right. I forgot
That
about
makes
that.
sense. That makes more sense in context.
That
yeah.
does make more sense. That does make more sense. It could be
I didn't
because
hear them
I don't.
say on commentary either.
I
Yeah,
don't think.
I believe she died sometime early last week, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Oh,
don't
Like
think.
it's fresh.
I don't. It's fresh. It's this week. I don't think I ever seen them like in white before. So it could have
Right.
been something like that. It could have been. It could have been something like that. All right. You know, this was just I would say semi filler show. There wasn't too much and not too little. But once again, they kept the train moving along the tracks for us. But I suspect next week, being that it's going to be 8 days away, yeah, we're going to get some maximum overdrive with the storylines. What you guys think?
yeah. I mean, 2 weeks till Mania.
I
It's
agree. Yeah.
yeah. We're just it's we're just see what happens.
15 days away. All right, this leads us to jobber of the night, jobber of the evening. Brittany, do you have a jobber of the evening?
Um, I really do. I have what was the I have the superstar of the evening, but not Jabber. I didn't watch it, and I didn't watch it, so I can't really give a Jabber.
Fair
There's
enough.
an correct answer to Jobber of the Night, and it is collectively pretty deadly. I mean, you can't just interrupt Kevin Owens in Nick Aldis's office, get punched, both of you twice, like both of them punched in the same punch. I'm tripping over my words here. I'm very tired. But yeah, I thought they fit the bill for Jobber of the Night. For sure.
You know, I'm going to have to agree with you only because I don't want to say the OC, even though they got the
That's
enhancement
fair.
treatment. Even they got the enhancement treatment. And I'm not the only one out there. I know the Dirt Sheet Radio Nation feels the same way I do. At least more than 60, 75% of them do. The Good Brothers deserve better. But yes, getting double punched in front of your general manager when he even gave you the warning, hey, better watch out. Yeah, that's the jobber moment there. All right, here's your moment to shine, Brittany. Megastar of the night. Lay it on us, Brittany.
Without a doubt, what I saw, everybody involved in the main event segment, every last person, Roman, Cody, Seth, Jimmy, Jay, Solo, every last person. What's interesting about this is up until this point, I've had zero interest, and it sucks because I'm a Roman fan. Zero interest in Roman versus Cody, but tonight they caught
Really?
my attention. They caught my interest. I'm back on board. Roman versus Cody Part 2. They said nothing, literally no words, but everybody just pulled up and did a stare down. Perfect. That's how you get my. That's how you get me back in. That's how you do it. Well done.
Wow, strong statement there. They lost you for a little bit,
They
but they
did.
got you back.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm on board. Like I said, having the Rock here is cool. As you know, if you ask me my favorite wrestler of all time, it's The Rock. But at the same time, having The Rock here kind of pushed Roman and Cody on the back burner. So tonight legit felt like we need to be sitting down ready for Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania.
I could agree with that one. CJ?
I think I'm just going to steal your homework and copy that word for word. Just with the added points when you were talking about how it's good having the Rock back. I think this is proof fact that what Seth Rollins said, you're like, we don't need you more than you need us. This is proof. Like, you had 6 main event stars locking horns at the end of the show, and the entire crowd was in support. You have the wave of talent right now that you want, and the fans are on board, so take advantage of it. But The Rock doesn't add to, he adds to it, but he doesn't add in the way that I think they're trying to say that he's adding. Like, WrestleMania still sold out before The Rock got involved, so I think it was more so just taking advantage of the fact that he had an opening in his schedule. But it's great to see the solid main event talent that is still full-time plus Roman Reigns.
All right. Well, see, that was predictable to pick the main the face off between Roman and Cody. I picked the moment of the night that brought me the most joy. And notice I didn't say megastar tonight. I said moment of the night was the segment with LA Knight and AJ Styles. That one just tickled me pink. I loved everything about it. The camera angle from the police cruiser and the old school brawl. I think that was both of them go out for megastar of the night, LA Knight and AJ Styles. I'm looking forward to that match at WrestleMania. That one has the potential to steal the show. Just like brother versus brother, that one for me also has the potential to steal the show at WrestleMania. I'm pretty weird about matches like the match where Ray versus Dominic. Yeah, that was like my favorite match of the WrestleMania when they went and he got spanked and all that. So I'm very obscure when it comes to like my likes of what I watch or what I'm about to watch at WrestleMania. But that's my megastars of the night, LA Knight and AJ Styles. Well, that wraps it up for today. Brittany, let them know where they find you.
Y'all already know. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's B Ray Jones, BeeRayJones.
That's right. And CJ Carter.
At CJ Carter 22 on Twitter. I've got the Smackdown show with You Fine Folks every Friday night. I've got the NXT Rewind every Tuesday night. And I've got upcoming PLEs. I've got NXT Stand and Deliver. We're doing a watch along on Saturday afternoon, so be sure to tune in for that. And I'll most likely be hanging out with you guys night 1 or night 2, WrestleMania, whichever you decide to tune in for.
Right. I probably won't tune in for those nights. I don't know. I'll probably be out about. It's gonna
Sorry,
be
you being the streaming audience.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you can find me on Small Austin 316 on Facebook. Also, you can find me on Friday evenings on 2KWE Virtual Wrestling on Fridays and Sundays. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week for the official coming out of SmackDown's newest acquisition, Jade Cargill. I can't wait. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right.
Like, do we push him to the back or what? Because I don't want his hype to die down.
Now you're telling us the next week that they're scum of the earth, and we need you to think.
Everybody gets a moment. Everybody gets their little shine. Everybody